Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Douglas Stewart webinar with Dr. Brian Friedlander. And we're here to talk about Neo Smartpens today and its use largely in education and supporting DSA and access to work marketplace. We've got quite a good crowd today, so thank you very much for giving us your time. The webinar is being recorded, and all attendees will receive a recording after the presentation. Please feel free to drop any questions you may have into the chat box, which you should see located on the left of your screen, and I'll take those during the course of the webinar at appropriate moments. But without further ado, I'm going to pass the screen over to Brian, and hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Thank you. Brian, over to you.
Good. Well, good afternoon. It's good morning here from the Garden State in New Jersey. I'm glad to be here. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a licensed school psychologist and an assistive technology consultant here in New Jersey. I've been in the field for over 35 years. I'm also a professor of education. And for the last 35 years, I've been providing assistive technology, both evaluations, consulting, and implementation to schools and to families here in New Jersey. I've been using the Neo Smartpen for some time now, and just as a professional, I've been using it for taking my notes when I'm doing evaluations, when I'm talking to teachers, interviewing parents. It's been an invaluable resource for me, and I'd like to share the way I use it. But also think about when you're doing your assessments and you have the ability to quickly search, also records audio. I usually use it when I'm asking students to getting reading passages. So it has a lot of application, not only for the students, but you may find it even professionally for yourself. So I'm gonna move on. So we're gonna get started. So just some quick advantages for you when you're working with students with neurodiverse learning styles. You can easily go from analog to digital, which has some significant ramifications. It's very easy to save and share your notes and have a backup, especially for those students that tend to maybe lose their notebooks. One of the big factors that I find really important for me as an evaluator and as someone who works with students with disabilities, and also for the students themselves, is the ability to search their notes. I mean, how many times do students take notes and then they try to find them when they need them? And that's a very big challenge. So you're able to search, and you can also add tags to your notes, which acts as a filter, which I'll show you, so that students, for example, if they're taking, let's say, an art history course and they tag the notes art history, that acts as a filter, and they can quickly see all their notes for that subject in one fell swoop, which is great. And also the ability to transcribe your notes. I have to say that this technology has come a long way. And if you have students that have challenges with regard to typing, this could be a great way to jumpstart their writing projects by just, as long as the handwriting is fairly good, they can go from handwritten notes to basically editable digital copy and, paste that into Google Docs or Microsoft Word and continue the writing process. So one of the things that's important, and I know many of you who work with students with neurodiverse learning styles understand, that the ability to take notes is supported by research. It seems that the human brain can more readily encode information when you're writing as compared to when you're typing. So for retention and memory, this can be an important factor when you're considering note taking for the students that you work with. And the nice part is the portability. I mean, so oftentimes it may be a challenge or difficult to take an electronic device. And in many cases, I'm sure you know, a lot of the students that we work with, they forget to charge a lot of the larger devices. One of the nice things is the battery life on this is quite long. It can go for quite a long period of time, and it can store, way over 100 pages before they actually synchronize it with the app. So this is great if students that are doing field work or students that are in a science lab. it's a lot easier to use this, and it's certainly more accessible. So one of the nice things about the Neo Smartpen system is the ability to students to have their notes all in one place with a backup, and also the ability to actually, if you wanted to share it via the web, and also organize your notes that can be exported in many different formats. And for students who have poor working memories, one of the nice things too is being able to, with the Neo Studio app and the Neo pen, in this case, this is the M1 pen, is that students can also record audio that is linked to what they're writing at that point in time. So that is another nice feature, especially for students that have, difficulty with memory, students that may have had traumatic brain injuries. This can be really an important part, and allows them to go back later and review the contents of not only what they wrote, but listening to what the lecturer said at that point in time. So the Neo Smartpen, for those, just a little background, it utilizes Bluetooth, works on iPhone, Android, or Windows. You also can record the audio that's associated with the handwriting. The Neo Studio software saves all the recording. And what's important too is that the student doesn't have to have his or her iPhone or Android phone open at the time. The pen can store hundreds of pages of text. And then when the student, at the end of the day, opens the app, the pen syncs over Bluetooth, and it transfers all the handwriting to the application. And if you want, again, if, students are collaborating, they can actually share a web-based address in the cloud to access their notes as well. Or if they don't have their pen or their notebook with them, and in the library, you want to look up notes, they can actually access their notes on the web as well. So just a quick overview in terms of looking at the Neo for neurodiverse students. Think about the importance of using this technology for note-taking to organize, to search, to share, to transcribe, to record, and to tab. I'm going to mirror my iPhone so that you can see exactly what's happening. So this will just take a second. Okay, now my iPhone is going to come here. So this is the app. This is the Neo Studio 2022 app on the left-hand side. This is my Neo Smartpen, which the M1, and I just opened it up, and you'll notice that I now it's telling me that I wrote some information previously, and do I want to transfer? So I'm going to tap on transfer, and so that's an example of if the student just took out the pen. When you take the cap off, the other thing too is for kids who have difficulty with executive function or forget to do things, the pen automatically turns on when I took the cap off, and you can see the LED light. So now I'm going to start to write. You'll see what happens. So today I'm doing the, let me see if I can just get the line up here. So you can see a Neo Smartpen webinar. And one of the really nice things about this is the ability to search, share, and you can see how quick that is. And what's nice too is you can always, if students that want a mind map, they can draw images. So you can just see how easy that is. In addition, there's a palette here. So if I wanted to write in red and maybe draw a line, you can see that now my ink on the digital version is red. So there's lots of different ways to bring attention to certain information in the digital format. So one of the things that is really significant about the platform is the transcription. So I'm just going to, if you're looking at the app, I'm going to go up to the right top with the three dots, and I'm going to click on that, and you'll see a number of different functions. So the first one is transcribe, and if I click on that, you can see that get a pretty good job of taking my handwriting and transcribing it. And you'll always notice at the top right, I have the share button. So when I click on that, you can see I can share, I can message it to some of my family members if I want. I could even mail it. So it gives me a lot of flexibility of what I want to do with the information. And I'm going to go back here. In addition, if I go over here and I hit share, you can see I have lots of different ways to share my information. This would be my handwritten notes. I can turn it into actually a video or a GIF file, a PDF, PNG, and SVG. If you're working with students that are in doing like engineering, or they're doing design work with drawings, the vector graphics is a great format. They can bring things into Photoshop or other applications that would allow them then to edit and reuse that information. And you can see also it can generate a web URL as well. One of the other features over here is you'll see beautify text, which is often overlooked. And what this attempts to do is kind of keep the format together based on your handwriting. So let's see what that looks like. So you can see that it made the text a little bigger. What I can always do is come in here and actually edit it if I want. But it could be good for students that like to do mind maps and things of that sort. I think one of the most important features is the ability to search. So I'm going to click the search feature. You'll notice too that it says transcribing. So that means that I recently entered 2 notes, and what it's doing is it's going through and indexing all of my handwriting so that I can do a search. And again, for students who have neurodiverse learning styles, they may take notes, and then when they need to use them, they can't access them because they can't find it. And so what I'm going to do is I actually in preparing for this demo, I created a note. I'm just going to click on here, and you can see how quick it found these notes, and it's still looking. So in every one of these notes, you can see it picked up the word demo, which is really nice. So being able to, and I've been using this for a long time, so I have like hundreds and hundreds of notes, and you can see how quickly it picked it up. If I go, another thing too, you'll notice that some of the information in there is highlighted, and so after the fact, if students want to continue to work on their notes, I can click on the pen at the top, and then I have some tools. So you can see that I have a highlighter tool, and I have it in yellow, and if I want, I can just take my finger and I can highlight text. So students can go back and rework their text, or even erase their text as well. Another thing I want to bring your attention to is up over here. I use the tag demo, and it's a good habit if you're working with students after they get this system in place, is I usually write that up on the top right of every note that I have, which reminds me when after the note is downloaded to go over here, go to tag, and then you can see these are the tags that I put in there. Now, in this case, where is it? That's interesting. if you want, you can add your tag over here so that acts as a filter. So in this case, I'm just going to write the word demo, and I'm going to click on add tag. Hit done. So now if I go here, and I can actually, you can see this is the list of my tags. And when I click on that, it filtered everything out so the student can quickly get to what they want. So tags are great for students who are taking notes, and they can create tags for those subjects or the content that they're studying. So if they're taking art history, or they're taking economics, or they're taking psychology, they can tag their notes and then quickly find their notes in their notebook, which is really, really fantastic. Scott, any questions or at this point?
Myself, nothing coming through so far, Brian. No, so please carry on.
Okay, great.
Remember all our attendees today. If you do have any questions for Brian, just drop them in the chat function. I'm also just starting a couple of polls going around at the moment. So again, if you get a moment to answer the questions on those polls, that would be really appreciated. Thank you. Please carry on, Brian.
Okay, thank you. So one of the really nice features is the ability to actually add audio recording. So again, I'm clicking on the three dots. You'll see start, and then you'll notice the interface changes. At the top left, you see that there's some audio going on. So now I can say this supports audio, which is a great scaffold for students. Again, for students that have trouble with memory, this is really absolutely fantastic. As an evaluator myself, I also use it when I'm interviewing the students and when I'm doing specific assessments in their reading, testing their reading fluency, their reading comprehension. It allows me to go back and review their responses after the assessment. So it's a great tool for assessment as well. So in order to stop the recording, I just tap on the interface there. I hit stop, and now it's stopped.
Right.
Then, yes.
Just a quick question coming through. Good time to take it just while you're working with the pad. Specific question: does the pen work on any paper, or do you need a specific booklet to use with it?
So you need to use the NeoSmart notebooks that have what's called the encoding, but they come in. Good point. They come in lots of different sizes and shapes. So there's everything from, just kind of everything from planners to kind of field note size notebooks. And the other thing too is, in terms of the cost, they're either about the same or less than many of the other, generic notebooks in the field. So students are not going to be paying, additional fee to use these. They're priced very economically, and they're easy to access, and they come in a lot of different formats. Almost like there's a Moleskine format. There's notepads, like I'm using the mini notepad. So there's lots of different ways students can take notes, but they have to use the encoded paper. It's basically sort of like a watermark, so that the camera that's faced in the pen knows where it is on the paper. And you notice that if I go to, what's really nice about this is if I go to another page, you can see that it automatically detects the page I'm at. The student doesn't have to know to turn the page. And when I go back here, this is I'll put next page. You can see that the pen knows exactly where I'm at in my notebook, so the student doesn't have to remember that. When I get back home, you can see that it says voice memo replay, and I'm just going to hit that. And using this method, the phone and the pen need to be paired up with the application at the start of, let's say, the class. That's important to note. This won't work unless that the pen is paired over Bluetooth with the device. But you can see how powerful this is to provide that scaffold for neurodiverse students who have difficulty with memory. I want to go back at the end of the day and listen to a part of the lecture or the entire lecture. I mean, it works best when the student is taking notes and recording the audio. I wish you could. I'm surprised. It's kind of interesting because the speaker is like right behind my computer. That's really strange. All right. But that is a really very powerful feature. I'm going to go back to the start over here. So it's kind of interesting. One of the hidden features is like, like say I wanted to organize my notes, or maybe put couple of notes together as a PDF at the end of the day. If I hold my finger down, you'll now notice that I can put little check boxes on the notes that I want. So I'm just going to check these. And then you can see if I wanted to, I can actually hit that move icon and move them into a new notebook. Or if I wanted to, I can create a PDF or a PNG or SVG file. So it allows students to kind of organize their notes and share them out as they see fit, which is really great. So I think that there's a lot of really key takeaways for, today using this methodology for students that have challenges. But again, just to kind of go over, one of the nice things is the students can easily back up their handwritten notes in a digital format, which then allows them to easily search their handwritten notes, giving them access to their notes when they need it. As I shared, and you're certainly aware, a lot of students you work with may take some notes, but then they can't find them, they can't access them. With the Neo Smartpen and the Neo Studio software, all their notes will be in one place and searchable. They can also share their notes, print their notes as they see fit. And of course, as I say, your mileage may vary, but depending upon the student's handwriting, if you're working with students that find it really difficult to use a keyboard but have pretty good or fair penmanship, this is a great way to jumpstart their handwriting, their written projects. They can handwrite it on a notebook, transcribe it into text, and then move it into whatever writing platform they want, whether it be Google Docs or Microsoft Word. So it can be a great time saver for those students that are looking for a more efficient way, even in their downtime, to get writing projects started. And as I demonstrated, there also is the audio recording function, which gives students the ability to audio record lectures while they're taking notes. And this could be, again, for a lot of students you work with who may have trouble with processing information. You can actually work with them and teach them just to write some keywords, so it allows them to kind of jump to the area that they want to listen to in a lecture. But this could be another great scaffold for them. And then the ability to tag. Again, students can use this feature to tag subject areas that they're taking in their lectures, and allows them to quickly filter through all their notes to find exactly what they need. I mean, this is a fairly moderately priced, but I think a very powerful solution that's very portable, that will can be life-changing for a lot of the students that we work with learning challenges. So just wonder if there are anybody want to see anything else, or there's any other questions that have come up.
Nothing about specific. A question from myself, Brian. In terms of the ink that's used, is that a special ink, or is it any standard
Yes,
ink?
actually, I can show you. This is I just pulled it out. This is a D1 refill, which is available at just about any stationery store. And again, you can find you can sort of customize the writing experience with different D1 from different companies. There are even some D1s that have gel ink if students like writing feeling, and then all you do is you pop it in, and you're good to go. So it does come with a couple refills in the box, but you can go to any standard box stationery store and pick up a D1 insert and stick it in.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And just from Douglas Stewart's point of view, with regards to the provision of the Neo Smartpen, obviously this is available through eQuote and via any of the main ATSPs, even in the new world, as we all know. There is a specific DSA bundle that's available, which consists of the M1 Smartpen, 4 pads and 6 inks, that comes as a specific student bundle. So if you are recommending the Neo Smartpen to your students, then make sure you recommend the DSA bundle, and they'll get great, a greater use and a bigger bundle for the investment. So thank you for that, Brian.
No problem.
Is there any other questions come in? Just one comment for you, Brian. Great demo. Sonia, so thank you for those kind words, Sonia. Appreciate that. Just see, and I think that's all. Is there a video demonstration of the product? Now you've got lots of videos, Brian, haven't you, on your channel?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And tips and tricks and ways to use it. The other thing too, the other piece. I won't show it if you don't. But do you also carry the Rico, Scott?
We do, yes. Okay. Yeah, the Rico is available.
I won't demo. This is the Rico, and it works a little bit differently. But let me just stop that. So this is a portable digital audio note taker that pairs with the pen. So what happens is the student takes notes, and this timestamps everything a little bit differently than what I showed you in the Neo Studio software on the iPhone. So pretty much the student can go in, turn on the record capabilities, and take notes, and then this allows them to basically navigate their notes using the audio recorder, which timestamps everything as they write. So again, that's another part of the solution. Again, depending upon what the student needs, this can be an effective strategy for them. There's some pieces that I'm being honest, that are missing with this right now that Neo is working on, but this can be a good solution for students that need a digital audio note taker, which allows them to timestamp their notes in a lecture hall.
Right, so thank you, Brian. And do you just want to give your site a plug, Brian? I'll pop it in the chat so people can find out where to see some more of these videos that you produce.
So, if you go to, let's go here. Probably the one of the best places. Let me just move this out of the way. Is on. You'll find a lot of my posts and a lot of videos on LinkedIn, and I'm also on on YouTube as well. And so you can find a lot of my posts, and there's a lot of YouTubes embedded. So here's like a YouTube video and using the Neo Rico demo on my LinkedIn. So I have a lot of stuff on assistive technology, which is really nice. But I also have a YouTube channel too that has a lot of tips and tricks in using the Neo. And I also actually in this PowerPoint that I'll give you access to, I've embedded some demos so that if you want to demo it, what it's like, or to show a student what the note-taking features are, it'll be in that video.
Fantastic, and thank you, Brian. And what we'll do for all attendees, we'll send a copy of that PowerPoint out to you probably tomorrow with the recording, obviously, of today's webinar. But Brian, I really appreciate giving up your time today to help educate us on the use of the Neo Smartpen. I hope that all our attendees have found this a useful demonstration. Certainly would appear from looking at the polls that it's done Neo the world of good, and it looks like more of you are going to be recommending Neo Smartpens to your clients now. So thank you for that support. And And without further ado, I'll close today's session and say thank you very much to everyone for attending.